Greetings and blessings. I'm your humble host, David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers, and I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite Creator. And I continue to pray that each and every day, that each and every one of you will accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdom from the universe. So, with that, I just finished a prayer. This is Sunday night at 11:25, 5 minutes late, but I did a separate 6 minute video, I guess, or so. And so, if y'all are just catching me back, this particular subject is about um, spiritual refugee and finding home. Hey, David, how are you? And was having conversation and have considered this many times myself as a shaman in training. And um, I know there's some other people that are going to probably try to catch up here. So I want to say thank you to all the subscribers. Hi, Ian. Thank you all. You are such lovely people. And listening to Brian Milky Way Weekly Messenger thingy, um, to hear people's voices and put voices to the names in the chat room, I love it. I really do. It gives me tingles all over. I'm a voice person, having worked in radio and so forth. Listening to somebody's voices. I'm horrible. I can say I know who that person is. That's blah 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 blah. I can tell by their voice. People are like, oh, hush up. But anyway, about this particular subject, though, about um, there are many things about what I mean by spiritual refugee. Now, there are many of you who know or may not know actually that there are those who consider the planet Earth to be a prison planet. And there's a lot of information out there. In fact, I even did part of the alien interview in one of my videos, probably going on 2 years now. And it is available online for free. You can get it as a downloaded PDF file and read it yourself. It's many pages long and it's very interesting. But it has to do with the fact that, there are a lot of people who claim that there has been this invisible shield around planet Earth. We're going to start there, okay? So that there is this invisible shield around planet Earth. And when we die, our souls really don't get a chance to leave. We're stuck here. And that the moon is actually, now just listen, I'm I don't know if I believe all this, but just bear with me. But that the moon is actually the controlling factor for this grid around the earth. And that there are bases and so forth on the moon that help keep this grid. And that's why the moon's at its distance, and it helps energize the grid. There are, monuments and pyramids and ancient things we still don't know about that that keep this grid. Moon is mental. I think is I'm not I'm going to try to stay out of the chat for a little bit. I want to stay on topic for a little bit. Let me state my point, kind of thing. But so anyway, whether or not you believe it, hi Michelle, whether or not you believe it is a prison planet, but there are a lot of anecdotal stuff that is kind of old and from different places that it's like you can listen to um the Gaius folks and you can listen to these folks, and trust me, I've been listening to a lot of people for a lot of years, and plus my own experiences. But some of these things ring true and some of them are a little shaky, you know what I mean? And so it's like, so but the idea that our souls are and that the earth is a prison planet. One of the stretches that was brought out in the alien files book thing, maybe I need to do it again and do an update on that. Kind of, maybe it might be appropriate, but anyway. And so that there are aliens who have made it through the net, but can't get back out. And there are alien ships that have tried to get here and get them off. Well, we'll see. But that There have been alien races on this planet for a long time. So we're not even going to go there with this. But from the different types of angles and things, that Earth was a prison planet and our souls couldn't get off of it. So that's what I mean by, if we keep getting in the same place, if we've had to leave our home, as it were, and we're not comfortable anywhere, we're in these, um, biological, robotic beings that we are right now. Where is our home? Where is our spiritual home? Well, we talk about heaven. We talk about the universe. We talk about this. We talk about that. We talk about, feeling our spirit with Mother Earth and connecting with trees and rocks and stones and all that kind of stuff. But where is home? I mean, truly. Well, Earth is our home. Metaphorically, or this 3D reality, or spiritually, where are we from? And I don't mean, well, I'm from Pleiades, and I think I am, but I'm not 100% sure. It's just years of, doing some meditation and so forth. And anyway, I don't want to go off on that. But to the point, though, it doesn't really matter where I'm from. Not really. What's important, especially as a shaman in training, is to learn how to make benefit of this time right now. Okay, in trying to um, make the transition, not ascension. Well, I'm not climbing a ladder, anybody, but I am learning, and I am going to make this transition. We're all going to make this transition, one way or the other. But how we make the transition is kind of, in a way, up to us. Now, there are outside factors all the time. I mean, I'm watching these. I love science fiction movies and so forth, but even the medieval times, okay, there's a village full of people minding their own damn business. They got some hogs, they got a few cows and chickens. Everybody's working together. Everything's pretty much hunky dory. And then the king's men write in and say, "Okay, pay up." Now, these folks are okay until somebody else enters the picture. Okay. So there's always somebody that's got to be in control. Somebody's got to control the other person. And it's one of the things that I wonder, will this planet ever be rid of that kind of crap? Because somebody's always going to want to be in charge. Well, if y'all want, I'll be in charge. No. Sit down, please. Um, Somebody has to be the grown-up in the room, for gosh sakes. That's true. But now, as a spiritual refugee, so now the Hindus and Buddhists and so forth, many other folks believe in the reincarnation, that we've been here before. Not going to go into that, but to say that, okay, so if we have to come back, let's ask this question: why? Well, for fulfill our karmic destiny. Why? And I'm not being facetious here, and I'm not trying to be but when anytime something like this comes up, I've spoke about this before, but in a lot of things, not just in spirituality, but in life, you got to ask the question, why? Why am I doing this? Is this a purpose? It's a good thing, but why? And it's not bad, and it doesn't mean you should sit there and be a narcissistic rear end, but that you should ask the question simply, why? First, well, we're going to go to town. Why? Going to buy cigarettes and some milk. And why do you need the cigarettes? Don't. But I really want some. But why are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So, first we must ask why. Why must we come back and as our karmic selves? Why should we have to go through? It means I'm like an old tire and I have to be retreaded. You know what I mean? But instead of coming back here, I end up in South America or on the North Pole. Who knows? Or as a rock, maybe, but or a cricket. And there are the Japanese. I think with the cricket boxes, all things are spiritual. So even a cricket. But anyway, so how we look at things in reality, spiritual wise or otherwise, But does that mean that where's I still ask this question, where's our home? Well, it's in heaven. It's in the sky. But is that really an answer? Or is that just an excuse to not tell you the truth? You know what I mean? I'm raised a Catholic, was going to become a priest, all that kind of stuff. Gonna That's in other videos. But to the point though, I've always wanted to be a spiritual person. It was my destiny. Don't know about anybody else's, and I've strayed off the path too many times. I'm supposed anyway. But in my reincarnation self, in my spiritual self, am I really in a prison? Well, I can do what I want here in this life, and I get kicked around, drowned, or otherwise, abandoned in the middle of a swamp in 110-degree weather. But hey, we all have our lessons to learn. But are we refugees? And I state that because I think that we are, because we're always searching. We're searching for a home. Now, in using this spirituality thing a little bit here, let me throw this in. For those of us who understand or know about astral projection, when you leave the body, you may go wherever you go, but you always come back to where? To the body, home base. Just saying. So, but in our spiritual selves, when this body is no longer and we're out of here, do we have a home? Do we have a place that our spirit goes? Do we wander? Do we actually, or do we hit this prison planet screen and badang, and we come back as something else? So the reason, regardless of what it is, or how it may work, my point is we're refugees spiritually because we never had a chance to really settle down for a while. You know what I mean? If we're being rehashed all the time, then how can we have the option? Um, it's almost like we're stuck in this. You know what I mean? And I hate to say that, but if this is a prison planet and those facts are true, then we've never actually, at least recently, and let's throw in a couple thousand years just to be on the safe side. It could very well be longer than that. But it was said by the aliens in one of the alien books is that this planet started out because it was way off in where we are in the galaxy kind of thing, and we are way out in an arm, and there is a lot of uh we're not like towards the center, and there's less traffic out here on the outskirts of town kind of thing, you know what I mean? So but with that said though, there are people or folks who believe that they chose this planet way long time ago and brought people, entities, beings from all over the galaxy and possibly other galaxies. Why? Well, one of them was because think about Darth Vader and all them folk, okay? Those were the bad guys. And this was a prison planet. So artists, musicians, political thinkers, anybody that thought out of the box or was just, here's the other coin, or was so bad, wicked, mean, and nasty, they stuck them here. Sort of like a Russian gulag, okay, in a way. So, but with that, so many of us have been trapped here through many, 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 many lifetimes. If that's true, some of us are new to the experience. Now, over the last couple of years, there has been information through the different channels that this grid has been or is being dismantled. Not quite sure if it's done yet, but many of us have felt like there's a difference. Also, the uptick in UFO presence, for example, couple of years ago, I'm always looking out my window down here, looking out my back door. And I talked about it yesterday about, me and Miss Deb saw this, UFO out the back. We see it all the time. I've been watching it for years. And but I've been looking out that window for the last 38 years. I haven't been seeing UFOs out the window for the last 38 years. You understand what I'm saying? And I've been looking. So, but in the last 2 years. So if this is true, follow my weird logic here about this prison planet thing, and that the defenses are down. Well, somebody's coming in because we're all seeing a lot more activity. Now, do I know that this is true? Do I know that the thing is down? No, this is just speculation, but in the grand scheme of things, we should consider our options here. So if this is true, one way or the other, we still want to be better spiritual beings. But what if we get kicked back before we can ever get home, if you know what I mean? When you astral project, you always come back here or you're dead. That's the basic rule there. Greetings, Johan, Dominic, David Castle, as always. I love you, brother. Oh, Selwyn. Let's see. Autistics have special souls. Think cause souls immortal, but psychopaths make souls snap back. I'm not sure about that, but I have worked with disabled children and adults, and autistic children was one of the things that I worked with. And I got to tell you, there's a lot to the autism and all that. There's special people. The Mongoloid, folks, and I don't mean that in disrespect, and I can't think of the other name right now. But anyway, they're fun loving and so forth and everything. Kind of they act a little diddy at times. But the thing is that they have wonderful souls. They're pure beings, and I've worked with many of them over the years, and I just got to say, people that treat them badly, are just shame on them. But anyway, and maybe their sole contract was that's who they were going to come back to be. It just a pure, okay, so they don't have the IQ of, the rest of us, and they don't have such critical thinking. Does it matter? They're good people. They love other folks. They hug, they smile all the time, and it's like, what's wrong with that? And maybe it's good that they aren't aware of the rest of things. Some of them are, they're varying degrees, but in general, not so much. But they're pure light beings. Does that mean that they don't have a value here on this planet because they can't mathematically figure out the square? No. What's the area of a triangle? Who cares? Hey, Mr. Dave, would you like your coffee now? Or whatever, So they're different people, different beings have different places in this reality. And I think sometimes some people were just born on, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but in a way, they were born on the wrong side of the tracks. What I mean is, some folks that I have met, they're good people, they're hard workers, but they can't think past a certain point. They just can't. They don't have the ability, and many of them don't want it. So, but that doesn't mean that they're not functional in society and that they're not good people or good parents or whatever. But it's just that when I talk about certain things, and speaking as an engineer, they just don't get it. But the spring and the thing, they don't get it. But they could fix the lawnmower that I can't fix. Go figure. But I can take apart all these complicated machines. They can't. But they can fix a lawnmower that I can't. I have just thrown my hands up over it over the years. But with that said, but we all have a place. We're all part of the puzzle. But now, as as spiritual refugees, how many times have we hit our spiritual noggins on the ceiling, if you will, thinking about the glass ceiling, blah, blah, blah. But that how many times have we managed to smack our heads on, okay, the dome around the planet. And we can't get out. Is that why we don't remember? Because we've hit our head so many times? I, just saying. I mean, I know what a traumatic brain injury is. It'll put a loopy and make you loopy. But with that said, though, spiritually, though, have we hit our heads so many times that we've we're senseless? You know what I mean? Spiritually senseless. So we're wanderers. We're still trying to find out who we are. Isn't that what all of us say at one? Oh, gee, I wish I knew what my place was. I wish I knew. You know, we've all said it at some point in our life. So that means that we're searching for something. What we're searching for, a soul. We're searching for. We're searching. Why? Back to that question. Why? Because we haven't. This is my interpretation, but think on this. It's because we haven't been to our spiritual home in a long time. Our true spiritual home, and I think each one of us has got our own like home base. But how many, only the bestest gurus, and I understand a lot more than I did a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, but, and I'm learning every day and every minute if I allow myself to. But in thinking on this, even if I don't get out, I know that in my soul, my spirit, I'm always home. Now, I spoke with my daughter on the phone and we discussed my granddaughter who's it's common knowledge. So, I can openly discuss it because I'm praying for my granddaughter. She's in a Connecticut state women's prison for various and sundry possessions and narcotics. And anyway, she was going to get several years and ended up with 18 months and is in a methadone program and is in not a maximum security area, but she's learning about herself. God, been praying so hard, but we're hoping, she actually wants it. She wants to get better, but so she's been searching in whatever of this life for pleasure and for sex and, yeah, she was selling herself, and for drugs and all that. It's like, that's not what you want your child or granddaughter or anybody to have to go to that, but to search spiritually. And I know my granddaughter can hear me sometimes, but she's ignored me for many years. She's ignoring her own spirituality. She's hitting her own head. I did it. Many of us have. I read the prayer of Millie Cow. He sent it and said, "No more. Today I'm done. I'm done saying I'm not good enough. I'm done being, my own worst enemy. I'm done, feeling down and alone all the time. I'm through with it. I'm done with it." Bravo, because that's the first step. Woo. Coffee break for Bob. Just saying, we got to say thank you to Bob. Let's give a toast to Bob the AI, everybody. Ween. Just saying. So in this grand scheme of things in the world, we know we're getting bombarded by all these cosmic energies. There's all the Wi-Fi, there's all the this, there's all the that. I mean, there are a lot of people in newer apartments and so forth. There's so much electricity and stuff and stuff going on. You're getting hit with EMF waves all the time. And you think, well, I don't know. It might be your apartment. It may be where you sit. If you got a computer and a bunch of stuff, and there's all these little plug-in appliances and things with all these voltage adapters and so forth, they all transmit electrical magnetic frequency. And if people might sit in a certain part of the room, and you might be in trouble where you sit. And so sometimes just changing the location in your room or whatever. But anyway, but to the point, there are people worrying about some stuff when they're not even looking around it. And I'm not trying to freak people out. I'm just saying sometimes you may sit in a particular part of the house, and these little appliances that are plugged into your house is amplifying what's coming in. That's sort of my point, making you more susceptible to feeling of them. Hey, Brandy, how are you? And Selwyn, Brian Harvey, he has a rare, your RH no. That's a good joke. I like that one. Yeah, I try to pick this time of night because most other folks aren't on. But anyway, but discussing this though as a frequency thing. So if there's an energy, and we know that there is an atmosphere and all this kind of stuff around the earth, whether it's a globe or not, and to the flat earthers, if there's a dome up there, aren't we going to hit our heads on that? So, this idea of a prison planet. But there are the worst of the worst here and the best of the best. In other words, if this is true about the prison planet, then the best musicians, the best poets, the best engineers were tossed out because we were free thinkers and tossed here on this planet because we were political exiles, basically. The Earth is a Russian gulag to them. All right, because we're not part of the rest of the galaxy. Now, all right. So in tying this together with the refugee thing, do we have to accept that we are refugees? We are, because we're searching for our spiritual path. We're searching for our spiritual self. So aren't we looking for home? I mean, isn't that what it really boils down to? We're trying to find a place that we can go sit in the rocking chair on the porch and we're home. We don't have to worry about going anywhere. We don't have to worry about somebody bothering us. We're home. We're on our front porch swing. You know what I mean? Um, I'm thinking of old country songs and stuff. But anyway, just a swinging, just a swinging. Anyway, but my thinking is I was thinking about just today as I'm burning off the back, 4 acres in the back there. I'm thinking lots of stuff while I'm chasing the fire and trying not to burn the neighbor's property down. That wasn't going to happen, but the flames did get over 20 feet tall at times. So rather weird in the swamp with water on the ground that I got 20-foot flames. That's how bad it needed to be burned. But anyway, in certain areas, there's always green stuff coming up where I'd burned previously. So, it really does help out. Anyway, but in our spiritualness, Bob, I know you're all out there. In our spiritualness, though, we're supposed to have a choice. If you listen to read anything about Edgar Casey, we have a choice to come down here and accept our soul journey. And sometimes many of us have, I know I did. I threw up my hand and said, y'all didn't show me that damn fine print. Let me see that contract again. I don't remember that part, but anyway, the choices are ours though, once we get here. So, but we're influenced by things. We have to learn. It's our journey. And why couldn't it have been a lot easier? It was. I chose to be a drunk and a drug addict. So had to learn. Like my daughter did, although she didn't go to prison, but she had her addictions. And now my granddaughter, holy crap, please stop this, I hope it stops with my granddaughter, but I keep praying. Didn't want this to happen. Damn sure didn't want to pass down that gene. You know what I'm saying? But in the spiritualness of this, she still has the opportunity to make a choice. We all have the opportunity to make a choice every single second. So, in my thinking now today, is that, well, do I choose to think like a refugee? Because I've talked about my time in prison and sort of the reason I'm bringing this up as a refugee, because in prison, I was still me. Yeah, I had to go by their rules, and yeah, I was locked behind bars, and yeah, but I was still me. I got a chance to read the books I wanted. I got a chance, not a lot, but I could write letters. I wrote stories. I exercised. I gained 25 pounds of pure muscle, while I was in jail, and had a better head on my shoulders when I got out, saying, "I'll never do this shit again." Wish I'd listened to myself and had not gotten into trouble again. But anyway, I stayed out of that lifestyle at least, and steered away from that. So I have made different choices. I could have went back to that. My granddaughter did, and now she's really in jail. She spent some time in jail, but now she's in prison. So, she's had the opportunity to get out of it and get out of it and get out of it, and boom. Now she's got a daughter she can't see because she's in prison. I got a great granddaughter that's in Connecticut. None of us can see because all of this stuff that's going on and blah, blah. So, got a great granddaughter, that my granddaughter can't see. So, the consequences, holy crap. So, we have to rethink things on a daily basis. So, my point to this is that one of them is that I'm going to rethink my position here, as it were. I've never really felt myself as a prisoner, although when I look around, it is kind of what we are. We're in this prison, Social Security. They cheated me out of a lot of money, about $350 a month's worth kind of money, and but I've learned to live with it. I'm doing okay. My house is paid for. I keep my taxes up. Blah 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 blah. blah. You know, I'm okay. But I planned on it ahead of time. There are other folks that are homeless and they're old age, and there are folks my age that are in retirement homes, and they're going to be living there for the rest. Oh my God, I can't even think about that. But with that said, though, that's a prison, isn't it? Well, if you got to go into a nursing home, okay, but is it a prison? It's a prison if you choose to think that way. Now, I worked as a maintenance man in two different nursing homes, so I have experience in nursing homes. I've seen people die and things and stuff. And anyway, and no, I don't want to go there. Please, let me be really old and senile before I go. Okay. And maybe I just won't come back from a kayak trip or something. Man, that'll take care of that. But I'm not hoping or wishing, by the way. But God forbid to just anyway waste away. I just seen too many people that away, and just nobody cares for. It's a horrible thing, horrible thing. Anyway, but are you in a prison? Well, if you choose to look at it that way, then right on, you're there. You're in that prison. You're stuck. So your mental thing, well, I'm in prison, I realized that worrying about being in prison every day wasn't helping. I was already there, bars everywhere, you can't go anything, guards. So you're kind of like, well, duh. So, but well, I'm in prison. Oh, I woke up, I'm in prison again. I'm still in prison. Well, yeah, you made a dumbass choice and you're paying the consequence. Okay. But then I realized, well, right now, I'm this is my house, my bunk. When you're in prison, they say, "Well, I'm going to my house." That means you're going to your bunk because that's the only space and it ain't really yours, but you claim it. And I've seen people get into fist fights, get face smashed into brick walls because that's my bunk and you ain't anyway. So, but the choice though of saying, well, maybe I'm already home. If I can be confident enough with my own spirit, if I can be confident enough and learn enough to have faith in my own cosmic awareness, or, you know, um, to just say, I may not understand it all, but I'm going to have faith that it exists. I'm going to have faith, and I'm going to keep looking. I'm still a shaman in training, but I'm going to have faith that, you know, what I know right now, like Milicow said in his prayer, I'm going to take what I've learned and the lessons I've learned, and I'm going to use them now to my benefit. So, yeah, old age, we can look back, but I've learned, and I wished I'd listened to some of them old folk back in the day, because they used to hang around some really cool old folk, and that taught me a lot, but I didn't listen was my problem, and I didn't pay any attention. And I thought the drugs and alcohol was more important than learning all these lessons, and it blinded everything that I've learned. And then I got, many traumatic brain injuries, and kind of, yeah, thank you, Millie Cow, Miss Deb. Agreed. But to the point though, which do you choose? And you is sort of, not you personally, but you personally, because y'all are here, but the you in general, which do you choose? Do you choose to be a prisoner? Or do you choose to say, well, we got rules, but as long as it's, these rules are like, yeah, I got to pay my taxes. I got to go in and bitch about them. And yeah, I got to do this. And yeah, I got to do that. But by and large, I can do any freaking thing I want to do here on my property. I burned 4 acres of the backyard today. Nobody told me I couldn't. Set it on fire, and there it goes. My neighbors were doing the same thing, but you know, they had tractors and four-wheelers. It was just me and a stick. But anyway, that's for another story. But but the thing is though, I still have a freedom. I still have things I could do. There's still blah blah blah, you know. So yeah, the government's of this, and yeah, the state of Georgia, and yeah. Okay. Well, you got to pay the price of wherever you live. At least I don't have some guy charging in with a big sword saying, give me half of your eggs because the king's hungry. Well, we haven't gotten to that point yet. So, am I living really in a prison? Well, if you choose so, if you accept it, if you accept that this is crap, and if you accept this as, the gurus that I've met and the really truly spiritual shaman folks that I've met, they don't care. What do you mean? Because none of that bothers them anymore. Well, what do you mean? Well, because that none of that bothers them anymore, because they realize that all these other things. So you got a rule. Okay. You can't walk over there. Okay. Well, I have a right. It's, this is county property. I should be able to walk on the lawn. No, there's a no, you stay up. There's a stay off the grass sign. Well, but I jaywalked and they gave me a ticket. Well, did you put money in the parking meter? No, and I got a parking ticket. Pay attention. Park somewhere else, or go make sure that you're not taking responsibility, whatever it is. But it's the government. And I said this, but and I'm really kind of pissed about Mike Bloomberg. Let me say, saying that it's all Trump's fault about this coronavirus stuff. That's not good politics. I am totally against what this guy is promoting. I'm sorry. Whether he's a Democrat or not, I don't like what he's promoting. It's fear porn, and shame on him. Shame, shame, shame. Billionaire guy going to run for president against Trump. And he's just shoving out this stuff to make everybody, it's all Trump's fault. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Whoever created the damn thing. Enough of that. But I choose not to be a part of that. I've made a choice. I've done my own research, those statements aren't true. So in your own life, you know what spiritually resonates with you. So are you, if somebody comes along and goes, well, if you want to learn more, come with me. If you've ever read the book Siddhartha, Siddhartha goes off on these journeys, and he's looking for this and he's looking for that. And he finds peace with a ferryman. He's followed gurus all over. But in the end, he's still searching for spiritual enlightenment. Siddhartha, it's a book, it's a story by Herman Hesse. And very interesting. Short book, good one. Read it. You'll learn some things maybe. But anyway, so in Siddhartha, he's traveling around and he comes to this river where there's a ferryman, that pulls the rope and back and forth. Okay, he's a ferryman. And Siddhartha goes and he sits by him and he goes, there's something about this guy. He's so spiritual. He's glowing. I've walked with many masters. I have fasted. I have sweated. I have given. I've done all these things. But this guy, he's a ferryman. But whoa, he's got this quiet. He's calm, and there's something about him. So Siddhartha, he stops his journey and asks the ferryman, "May I be your apprentice?" And he was like, okay. So the time that Siddhartha spent with the ferryman got old and he passed away. But during it, Siddhartha asked him, he said, why are you still here at the river? And he said, because the river, as it flows, there is no beginning and there is no end because it's constantly flowing. Our troubles go down the river and fresh new things come to us. Native Americans and many other cultures feel the same way. So Siddhartha looked at the ferryman. He goes, well, so you sit here by this river. And he goes, but I have everything. The world passes me by. People come to the river and I help them cross both ways. They tell me stories of their journeys and I have the journeys of the water right in front of me. What else do I need? And Siddhartha was like, I followed all these gurus all through the countryside for years, and here's this guy who's a ferryman sitting beside a river to teach me spiritualism. Well, the old man died, and Siddhartha became the ferryman. So one day, he's, people getting on, and his old buddy from way back when they were kids and had went on their spiritual journeys, his friend says, Siddhartha, is that you? And he goes, oh, my friend, it's a long time since we've seen each other. And he goes, yes. And his friend's still dressed in the saffron cloth and he's doing the ching, ching, ching. And he's off on another spiritual journey. And so he asked Siddhartha, you're the ferryman? Oh, yes. And his friend noticed the change in Siddhartha. And he said, my friend, have you found spiritual enlightenment? And Siddhartha was like, yes, I'm here with the river. And his friend, is still looking. So in that, his friend was still a refugee from his spiritualism because he was still looking for a home. Okay. So Siddhartha had found his home, not necessarily with a cottage or a house, but it was a place. And it was beside the river as the ferryman, and he was comfortable with that. And he became one with his surroundings, with the river, with the people that he met. And for every person that met him, they were enlightened because he was. He had a calmness, a peace about him. But anyway, but it was his choice. Siddhartha's choice was to see the enlightenment and the common simpleness of this ferryman, where he could have allowed his soul and the rest of him to continue being that refugee, looking for his spiritual home. So I've said this before, and it is the truth. And it is a true story in that when people asked me what I was going to be as a little kid, what I was going to be when I grew up, and I said I was going to be a hermit and live in the woods down by a river. I'm here, and but other people, it's a little different. But to the point though that it became comfortable with me that okay, so I wasn't so much comfortable with the hermit part, but I get it now. I had to be a hermit in order to understand certain things. I had to deal with my own loneliness to find out I wasn't really lonely. I had to deal with certain like by myself things. Oh, I don't know. What if that? Yeah, I made it really well without anybody's help for several years, and well, I with only a little bit of help over a couple of years. I'm not bitching. I had to learn it for myself. But it was a choice of whether or not I chose to live in that prison. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't talk. I couldn't speak. I made a choice. I'm not going to be that person anymore. Whatever it takes, I'm going to give up this. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to make a choice. I'm not going to be a prisoner. I'm not going to be the refugee. I choose differently. And each one of us, every single I say it all the time, you're probably tired of hearing it, that every single second we have a choice we can make of which direction, what we want to do, how we want to think about something. And I was so pleased when I was speaking with my daughter tonight and her other half, Steve. And he said, Pops, he said, you mentioned something to me, us, about being the compassionate observer. And it freaked me out because I was like, holy crap, he listened to me. And he goes, he said, I realize I see what you mean. Don't get drawn. We were talking family stuff and getting drawn into arguments and things. But to the point was that you can still be compassionate, but if you let your anger get drawn in or your emotions, or boy, it can affect the situation. And he was like, I ever since, because I was talking to them on the phone a month or so ago or 2 months ago, and I said, be careful. Just remember, become the compassionate observer. In other words, keep your emotions out until it's necessary. And it humbles me. I'm so glad that people can take that advice and understand what it means because, oh boy, it will change your life. And it's avoided conflict and arguments and cheers. Good for them. You know what I mean? So, anyway, and I do feel humbled that I can have these conversations with you all and that somewhere something might strike a chord in you that will help you because it ain't about me. I'm just the messenger. Put your guns down. But and Michelle, I got a butt cramp that just won't quit. I'm gonna have to shift positions. I'm just saying. But anyway, um, but so our choices. Are you in a prison? Even if I am, I'm gonna make the best of it. But you're in a prison, so I'm still gonna make the best of it. But you're in a prison planet, prison thing. You're you're. Okay, so but now I went through my time with the prison planet stuff. Trust me, but I'm bringing it up now because it's like, but it didn't do me any good. I lost a lot of positive energy and sleep over worrying about the prison planet. So I had to go back to my prison days of really being in prison and go, wait a minute. Maybe it's true. I'm not sure. There's speculation, a lot of different angles here about this, about our souls getting bounced back and all that. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to try to remember as much as I can of previous lives. If that's true, and I've been bounced here before, then the trick is, then, in my opinion, is to remember, right? Remember what we've forgotten. And so, as a spiritual guru person in training, then I'm just going to not outwardly like, oh, if I don't find it right away, and I used to do that. Oh, I got to find it, got to find it. Sort of like Siddhartha's friend Well, but it's got to be here somewhere. It's in a book. Some guru's got the answer. If I go to enough gurus, I'm going to find, wait a minute, maybe the answer is within yourself, you know? And we've all kind of agreed with that, in that we are our own spiritual thingies. Yes, we need help. Yes, that's why I read the thing from Millie Cow. I want to share, and us sharing, this is part of the deal, you know? So we can all take it's not necessarily looking in the mirror. It's more like a self-assessment. Okay. And it's just like, well, did you say your prayers today? Okay. Did you think good thoughts today? Yep, pretty much. Did you get pissed off at anybody and shoot a bird at them? Nope. Good. So you go down your little checklist, and it's a self-assessment. You know, well, I used to be a really angry son bitch. I mean, I'm telling you, I not so much for fist fights, not into that, but get into an argument, screaming, hollering, and maybe a little pushing. But there's no sense in it. It's such wasted energy. Oh my God, the years I wasted being angry. And I didn't even know what I was angry about. When it boils right down to it, I figured it all out, da 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 da. But to the point, though, all that wasted energy could have been doing something else. You know, all this other wasted energy being fearful of things. And I've talked about my fear. About, oh, I'm alone. What if something happens to me? No, I don't really care. I went down and set the woods on fire today. you know, um, Walked through fire several times. Yeah, that was an interesting. Yeah, I got some burns on my feet. Had to walk in the water, literally walking on, not on, but in the water. Got my feet full of water in my shoes, and then I'd go stomp out the fire. Yeah, so my pants wouldn't catch on fire. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Uh, Honestly, that's what I did. I know I'm crazy. Um, but our choices, though, that we make spiritually. So to sum it up, you say, well, I got my little checklist, and it's okay for me to do that. It's all right that if there ain't nobody else going to give me a gold star, that I'm staying on my path. You're a member of the League of Like-Minded Beings. We are not alone. We pat each other. Hi, Tom. How are you? Um, I don't know if you were a subscriber or not, but blessings and glad to see you. I saw you in the chat earlier. Um, Blessings to all of you, and I do mean that. Scratch, how are you? Brandy, as always. Um, Mind hacking, says Scratch, and psychic attacks done remotely from satellites. Oh, we're getting stuff from all over the place. And a um, if your frequency is tuned into wherever you're at with certain entities traveling around and stuff, oh, buddy. Like, for example, Breaking Dawn and I were talking about it, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I live between two cemeteries. And I have jokingly said that I live between two cemeteries. And then I went to Google Earth. And oh my God, do I live between two cemetery? And the flipping house is damn near exactly halfway between that cemetery and that cemetery. I drew a line and measured it. And I was like, what? Not a clue. Now, when I moved here, there was no Google Earth. Okay. I just walked around on the property and said, I want the house here. And I knew there was a cemetery over there, and I knew there's a cemetery up there. But I didn't know I was literally just this house. And I mean, a line from that cemetery to that one, kind of sort of pick the middle. The house is like right on the line, right in the middle. Holy crap. Did I intend that? No. But it might explain why there's all this creepiness sometimes. I mean, we have both seen things go by the window or walking in the yard, many people have seen the same ghost here and described 2 or 3 different ghosts and I haven't told them about them. They say, I saw this thing in your woods, or I saw the blah blah, and and it's happened over the years, different people, different times, different circumstances, but they always give me a very similar, if not the same, description of the ghost and stuff that's walking around in my woods. So did not choose this, but here's the thing though. In my soul contract, get this one. I'm still working on this understanding of it, in that I know I had to come back to this property. I know that in a previous lifetime, I was a real mean SOB. Oh my God. Not just angry, but murderous and not a nice person. I'm not that person anymore. But the events that got me here this time around, that's literally for another show. But the synchronicity of it happening over the years, and then I finally got this place and how I got it. And I mean, we wrote a contract on a napkin between me and this other hippie guy, just saying. And the fact that I walked all around and picked this spot, it arbitrary? I don't think so. Was this part of my soul contract that I come here not only to take care of old business as a karmic thing, but also to come back this time specifically in whatever way, shape, or form, whatever's roaming around in here. And I've done many ceremonies in the woods asking the spirits there, listen, if there are negative entities out there, come, eh, stay away. But if you wish to come to the light, if you wish to become part of the good group, if you wish to step out of the evil and change your mean and bad and evil, wicked ways, then come ceremony with us. So at first, many years ago, I was like, "All you bad things, get away! I'm Hawkeye Two Feathers," and they beat my ass for that. I'm here. I'm going to protect this place. Bat, bat, bing, bing, bong. Drowned you a couple of times. Set your hair on fire. Things like that. Maybe not. So then my own spiritual thing was, you can't do that. But then I understood that, wait a minute, I'm not here to like control it. I'm here to suggest, hey, with all these different energies, with all these different planetary things going on, with the grid being lifted, if that's true about the planet, and if this is true and that's true, my job maybe is to contact some of these spirits and go, hey, folks, you have an option here. Take it. Quit being evil and wanting to hurt people. And I know some folks that are buried in that cemetery up there. Yeah, not nice people in reality. Oh boy. But so can these spirits like change? Is their evilness still roaming around? I've seen a few of them. So, but spiritually, my prayer has been over the last several years to, hey, folks, there's a chance to amend your evil ways, to make a choice. Even after they've passed on and they're in their spiritual self, they still have a choice. They're refugees looking for home. ET phone home. It's all about going home again, but going to our comfort place, you know. And I find at times, while I'm in my kayak or whatever, um, when I was sure enough by myself, hey, Millie Cow, blessings to you. You got your own video, and I love it. But anyway, um, good news. Good. We're always looking for good news. But I got a hammock and I got my little thingy and I got my little that. And no matter where I go, I got my home. Because I'm comfortable in my hammock. I can string them between two objects, that'll hold me up. And so I got my home's in my truck. The home's in my heart. Now, my house is my home in that respect, but when I'm out traveling and on the river or whatever, in case of I have a mental issue while I'm out in the swamps, I got my hammock. I've got those small little things that I'm at home. I'm at home with myself, and I got my little pack of stuff. I can lay down if I need to, which when my brain conks out, laying on the side of, on the bank of the river with the ants and the critters, I'd rather be in a hammock. So, but in that respect, though, I've gotten over my fear. Well, what if something happens while I'm awake? I got my hammock. There's trees in the swamp. And all I got to do is tie one here and tie one here, and I got my little home, you know? So, but in spiritually, though, it's sort of the same thing. We are home already. So, what are we searching for? Why? Because we feel like a refugee. We have forgotten that we are the home. We are the avatars. Now, I firmly believe there's another place that we go to. No, don't get me wrong. But I mean that even when my spirit soul leaves this body, it's still going to be me there. You know what I'm saying? So regardless where it travels, my spirit, my soul is still me. It's my frequency. It's whatever I have morphed into and evolved or learned or, shaman in training to understand these things. So I know there's a lot of other things out there that I am not aware of and don't understand. I'm still looking, but I'm not searching like I was. Because if you accept and receive the gifts from the universe, you always hear me say it, and I'll close out this session with the same prayer because I mean it. And when you accept and receive and start understanding these things and allowing your own faith, you might find that you're already home. We still have to clean up our own internal houses and so forth. A lot of metaphors could throw in there. But maybe we just, and we've talked about this before, that maybe we just need to stand still and let things catch up with us. We've always had the information. We had the information when we were children, but we became adults and forgot all of it. We stopped being spiritual beings and playful and whatever, and we became adults, and society molded us into what we are today or aren't today. That works both ways. But my friends, I think you get my point, and thank you. I love sharing this information with you. I love the fact that you all share over here in the chat room. I love hearing y'all's voice when you call in. I think it's great. I do. And whether or not this community grows, y'all are my friends forever. I mean, whatever happens to me, whatever, when I go to the other side, y'all are still going to be in my prayers because we have touched, we have met, our etheric energy has touched and combined. We are not alone. We are members of the League of Like-Minded Beings, and we are all a part of this universe. And whether we're in this meat sack or not, we will still be who we are in that other realm. We'll still be home. Now, I would still like to go visit family and friends in the other realms, but you get my point. Regardless of where we travel in this world or the next, we're going to find those things that make us comfortable, that make us feel at home. If you need to, then find a crystal or find a cross or find something that makes you feel at home. I've got my crystal on that's down here. I've got my medicine bag. I've got my, lapis lazuli. And spiritually, I feel at home. I know I go places, etherically and astrally and all that kind of stuff, but I always come home. Cranky old man. Cranky old hermit down here in the swamp, but lit the woods on fire today. It really needed it. Okay, my friends. Enough enough yakking. Okay, thank you for letting me get it out. An hour and 5 minutes. Holy cow. What y'all been yakking about? I'm experiencing pain, but it's not me. The energy will pass. Just move through the emotions without attachment. Yep, Tom. Um, I've used this metaphor before, but as the waves of energy, think of yourself in an inner tube, okay? And, floating on the ocean, there's waves. Sometimes it's going to go throw you way up, and then sometimes you're going to get that sinking feeling. And we just have to know that we are the inner tube and we're going to make it, but we got to go with it. If we try to fight it, it's going to kill us. If we try to worry about it, it'll kill us. But understanding that it's there and allowing it to pass through, and how each of us that are going to experience it uh, differently. So, but the point is, yeah, stay within your spirit and soul always. Use caution with TM. Uh, Dominic says, I am not experiencing pain for the first time in forever. I consider it blessings and thoughts. Absolutely. For all the walking and stuff I did out in the woods tonight. Of course, I did take an extra ibuprofen, but that was hours ago. But I should be in a lot more pain. Brandy says, we are part of the creator. We are creators. Our thoughts affect everything. That's why so much effort, money is put into directing our thoughts. One of them, yeah, absolutely. They want to keep us confused all the time. Um, I'm reading back up through the chat. Y'all have a good time while I'm. TM as in transcendental meditation. Millie Cow. True happiness is within, but finding that place within can be difficult. Yeah, that soul work, Millie Cow, is oh man, the arguments that I had with self. But the thing is that once you agree to be honest with yourself, once you say, okay, I'm going to be honest brutally honest. I'm 250 pounds and I got to lose weight. One of my things I've talked about. I'm such and such and I want to change. When you make up your mind, how you do it doesn't matter. Making up your mind that I'm going to change, whatever it is, and do it. So, but understanding that you have happiness within it. Well, I don't know. I feel grumpy all the time. Well, why? Well, I don't know. I feel grumpy. This is mine. I feel out of sorts. Blah blah blah. So, and then I go, well, I don't want to feel grumpy. I don't want to be upset. Screw it. I'm going to be grumpy for 5 minutes, and then that's it. I know it sounds stupid, but give yourself a time limit. Boy, hey Bob, Ween. Uh, oh, good. Millie Cow says it's been crazy weekend for reasons I won't detail here, but things are looking up. Lots of prayers I've been sending you. Not that I got anything to do with it, but lots of prayers that things would change for you, Millie Cow. Whew, boy, that's just good news. Whatever it is, good news. Brandy says you came to transcend your soul and save a few more from the hell. Uh, yes, Millie Cow. Thank you all for the discussion the other night that inspired the poem. Absolutely. Scratch says it's my lungs that are screwed up. Have fun with that. Tom says trying to stop emotion is pointless. It's energy in motion. You can't stop energy moving in a quantum field. Tom, you can't stop it, but you can direct it, or you can minimize it. And I'm Breaking Dawn and I, when we first went over on the Flint River, and I was showing her the different patterns in the water and the eddies, and that the current's stronger over here and not over here. So all these energies, you can stand right in the middle of a whirlpool and drown, or you can stay out to the edge. Still the energy, it's still going by you, it's still going to affect you, but is it going to wrap you up and suck you down the vortex, or can you keep your energy to, I boy, the energy feels weird. Okay, well then don't step out into traffic. Make sure you're back from the curb, you know? So you do have a choice how you look at what the energy's doing to you. Well, I feel weird. So, okay, so you feel weird. So instead of saying, I wonder what it's doing to me and freaking out, because that's what I used to do, I think now I'm this weird energy. Maybe it's changing my DNA. Maybe it's giving me an upgrade. So rather than think, oh my God, this energy's killing me, I think, oh my God, maybe this energy is like rewiring my system. And this upgrade might be a little painful, you know? So, and you say, well, wait a minute, what has that got to do with it? Because it's how we look at what's happening to us. So if we look at it with fear, we don't know what it is. That's fear in a minor sense. But with that, we say, woo, I don't know what it is, but wow, I'm going to find out. And I'm going to think that it's a good thing versus, holy crap, I'm dying. I've been through this. So I'm speaking to you from my own experience in that, wait a minute now, accept and receive the healings and the blessings. Well, this energy, it's making me cranky. Only because you're letting yourself do it. I'm talking about me now. No, I don't want to be cranky. Well, you feel cranky. Well, then stop it. Well, I don't want to. This energy is making me. Go walk around in the yard and slap yourself a couple times and get over it, and come back in and be the grown up in the group and say, okay, Grumpy's out of here for today. He had his little panic fit or whatever, but we're in control again. So you may not stop it, but you can direct it, and you can avoid your own self in the stream of things. And these are streams of energy. So just like a river, just like water is in its own energy and etc. Use that. You don't have to go out there in them really hard rapids and the current when you know where to find the eddies. It's a whole lot easier to get through. So spiritually, and as shamans in training, we're all learning how to paddle up this river of life, as did Siddhartha, as did so many other, the uses for the metaphor of the river and flowing water and the energy and so forth. But my friends. So, but anyway, Tom, just remember, um, emotion isn't pointless energy unless it's wasted energy. Let me point that out because I have emotions. And when I'm praying for my granddaughter, if you say that my energy is pointless, I'm going to disagree with you. So, but I understand what you mean about emotion is pointless, it's energy in motion. So, but we can direct it. We can choose which way. With our intent, we can direct it. We can kind of shift it. We might not stop it, but we can have an effect on it. So anyway, I'm picking on you, but in a good way because there's more to it than just that. But I get your point. I really do. Scratch, Michelle, Dominic. Oh, that's what TM, Millie Cow. Millie Cow, I tried that years ago really hard, and I had absolutely zero effect with TM. but I know people's lives that were changed forever. Me personally, never got it, never did it. I had to go the shaman's route and learn through Native American ways. But everybody's got their own thing. So, but I'm very proud and good for you. Dominic says I wear a copper knee brace. I got copper on my arm right here. Um, Scratch says, if I had the money, I'd go to the Great Pyramid and lay in that box. It's said to heal. Yeah. But there are other places on the planet that have healing properties to it. And there's one in Arkansas I want to go back to, Indian Roundhouse. Oh my God, if you ever get a chance to go there near Buffalo Point, there on the Buffalo River in Arkansas. Oh my God, it's cool. Anyway, um, yes, Brandy. David Castle says, get your bare feet on the ground when it gets warm enough. Hey, bare feet on the floor. It's cold. Doesn't matter. Sometimes the cold is good on your feet. But anyway, put your feet on the ground. Ground. Yeah. Yeah. David says, Tom, you can train yourself to laugh and raise your vibration. Other than getting angry lowers your vibration. It's just retraining your brain to keep negative energy from latching onto you. Yes, David, and I agree. And as I spoke before about this with Tom, not picking on you, Tom. We love you. We do. But, oh, I had anger issues. Oh, God, I had anger issues. But when you feel that energy start to come up for me, I was like, I'm fixing to get pissed off. Well, then don't. But I have the right to. But it doesn't mean that I had the moral obligation to get pissed off. Sometimes it's in your best interest to put your foot down, like my daughter was talking about. She said, I had to tell my, and I had to put my foot down. Sometimes you gotta be the grown up in the room. But yes, I agree with you, David. You can train yourself when you feel that emotion coming up and you anger, or for me, a lot of it was depression. I can't fix anything. There are people I want to heal. I can't do anything. I'm a useless human being. I was in a wheelchair. I can't drive anymore. Pity party. Yuck. Nasty energy. I chose to get out of it. We all make a choice, right? You hear me? I'm all the time, right? I'm sorry. It's been several hours and I ain't had a cigarette. I'm going to light one up, y'all. I know. But with the choices that we make and that we have available to us, and here's the thing, you might not have a solution right now, but if you wait, and doesn't mean that you should stop looking or trying to figure it out, but sometimes the best thing to do is sleep on it. And then an answer or a solution will present itself. There's been so many times I'm like, man, if I'd made the wrong choice too quick, because I didn't wait just a little longer when something actually better came along and I'd already made a dumb choice. So, so the choice in this issue is anger, and I'm speaking for myself. When I felt that anger come up, I just said, no, you don't. It's like, don't eat an extra piece of pie when you're 250 pounds and trying to lose weight. If you're diabetic, don't go for sugar. There are just certain things. Holy crap, don't do it. But you got to say no to it. So when that emotion comes up, and sometimes it's fear. So for me, sometimes it was fear. The depression. But I had to say, nah, but I'm depressed today. There's energies around me. I don't know what's going on. This is me. Who cares? Get up off your ass, go for a walk, go get in the kayak, change your modus operandi, change your point of view. Well, my point of view right now is I'm so depressed. And oh, shut up. This is the conversation. Sometimes I have it out loud. But in the past, I was like, but this was the torment between me, myself, and I. And then I had to realize, you've heard me talk about the camp counselor. I had to make the choice and go, I'm not going to get angry anymore. Doesn't do any good. I'm not going to flip people off with the bird anymore. Doesn't do any good. And it's negative energy and it's all these other things. But it's the choice I had to make here first. When I feel that come, I got to say no. I've been trying to light that cigarette for the last hour and 20 minutes. I didn't. So I said no for an hour and 20 minutes, but I said no. So, but with anything else, with the drinking, I had to say no. With the drugs, I had to say no. With the this and that, the overeating, had to say no. Being angry, had to say no. Being depressed all the time, had to say no. But then you can't just say no without replacing it with something. So you have to say, I I I ain't gonna be this way, but I choose to be this way. I'm gonna find a joke. I'm gonna watch a comedy. I'm gonna listen to the radio. I'm gonna turn on some old bebop music or something. I'm gonna change my own point of view. I'm gonna change me because this depression wants to sneak in. Can't have me. When you start saying that, you take control of everything. You start taking back control who you are. I know that boy, it damn sure helped me in my survival of being here at the moment, having this chit chat with you. Um, Otherwise, I would have been dead several times. And I'm not joking. I've talked about it before. But having the faith, having the strength inside today, I knew I was going to go outside and do what I was going to do. And I said, give me the strength. I was down in the woods. There's fire all around me, literally. And I'm like, give me the strength to walk through these woods. It burned a lot quicker and faster than I thought it was going to be. It started out and went to the whole woods burning, and I had to take care of it. And so, but my biggest thing was give me the strength. So if you just ask the universe, give me the strength to overcome this. Bye, Tom. Love you. Thank you for hanging out. Brandy says, yes, David, even if I'm having a rough day, I can catch a bird flying and be grateful. Absolutely. Scratch says, you're in a great place, Brandy. I agree. And we all have our moments. Millie Cow, it's the dream I just mentioned that I turned into a poem. I was visited by a crow. Interesting. A crow, huh? Wow, that's very interesting. Well, my friends, it's been almost an hour and a half, and I want some coffee. I want to smoke this cigarette, but also I've been yapping for an hour and a half. And yeah, hearing birds brings joy to the heart. And there's a hawk that's got a nest nearby because she's been screaming a lot. There used to be a pair of hawks that had a nest in my backyard years ago, and I used to go back there and sit in the deer stand and watch through my binocular and take pictures. And she would get on a limb above me and scream at me to get down out of the deer stand. But anyway, I use the deer stand for observation. Gets you up off the floor and you can see. Anyway, they did not like that, so I had to find another place to observe the nest from. But anyway. I love you, my friends. I do. Thank you all for being who you are. Thank you for continuing your journey. Millie Cow, all of us I know are praying for you. And if TM's working for you, go for it. But always be careful in the spiritual realm, regardless of where you're at. But just saying. So my friends, I love you. I do. Thank you so much for who you are. Ween to everybody out there. Thank you, Bob. We had some glitches, but all in all, I think we made it. And until Tuesday night, I'm supposed to be on with Brian and Milky Way and also Big Al. David says, every night before I go to sleep, I give thanks for the food in my belly, for the clothes on my back, the shelter over my head, and the love and the energy from the people who love me here. Absolutely. And I did a video on this. We don't say thank you enough to the universe. Just say thank you. It doesn't have to be to God or to Jesus. If that's your preference, go ahead. But just say thank you to the universe for allowing us to have what we have. Because trust me, in my world, I realized that, when I got put in jail and I lost everything, until you lose everything. And then I got back out of jail and then the house burned down. I lost what little bit I had gained. I lost it all over again. When you lose everything and you start back from scratch, you realize that nothing really matters. What matters is us, who we are. That's what carries us through. Thank you, universe. I don't know if it's such a universe. It's a diverse place, that's for sure. But to the quantum, you know, to the non-artificial folks out there. I'm your humble host, David Knoll, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. I thank you for your journey and for you sharing. Thank you for being my friend and each other's friends. Thank you to the universe for allowing us to have this conversation. I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept and receive the knowledge, the healing, the wisdoms, and the blessing from the universe. I continue to pray that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of your relatives, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will learn to accept and receive the energy, the vibrations, the wisdom, the knowledge, and the healing from the universe. And as in the law of three, I continue to pray that each and every one of you will continue to accept and receive and to continue to share what you've learned as part of the great knowledge of the universe. Thank you, David, Michelle, Dominic, Millie Cow, as always, Brandy, Scratch, of course, Miss Deborah. It's not Deborah, y'all. It's Deborah. Millie Cow. Yeah. Who else did I miss? Tom's gone. David Castle. I think I got you all. Okay. And any of y'all lurking in the background, it's okay that you lurk and don't type. We love you still. And thank you all for sharing. Until next time, Tuesday night on Brian's show. And I got another subject I wanted to talk about, but not now. Thank you, David. Love to you and sleep well. Back to you, Dominic. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and bless you, bless you, bless you. That's what he wrote. I'm giving it back to you. Thank you. Scratch, take care. Brandy says, don't forget to thank the invisible at night when the world blows. Thank you all for the sweet kiss and the others I can't see. Cosmic hugs, everybody. And as always, TTFN. Ta-ta for now from South Georgia. And we'll be back soon. Stay kind, stay sweet. Be that compassionate observer. And until next time, see you later.